Backlash 2018 predictions. Number 8. Raw Women's Championship match, Nia Jax vs Alexa Bliss. That's right folks, the woman will actually be allowed to wrestle on this pay-per-view following the Greatest Royal Rumble, and we have 2 Women's Championship matches on the card, both of which should be entertaining. For the Raw brand, Nia Jax will defend her gold against her ex-bestie, Alexa Bliss. Their match at WrestleMania 34 was kept short and sweet, and I expect this to be exactly the same as a long drawn-out match between these two. Doesn't exactly scream a wrestling classic. If it is booked correctly though, it should still be a fun encounter, but in terms of booking Nia Jax defending, makes the most sense. WWE needs to have Jax dominate the women's scene for a while now in order to make her look as strong as possible, and that should start by putting a full stop to this friendship with a clear win at Backlash. Number 7. Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman vs Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This tag team match was the final bout to be added to the card, and it certainly feels like it's only happening to get both Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman on the card somehow, as they are 2 of WWE's biggest stars. While the match has 0 build, and in terms of storylines doesn't really need to happen, you will never hear me complain about seeing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn working on a pay-per-view as together. They really do have an excellent chemistry. Sadly, that chemistry will not be enough for them to get the win, as this is almost a lock for the 2 big men, with Strowman and Lashley being 2 guys that Vince McMahon is going to look to push on Raw moving forwards. Number 6. Intercontinental Championship match, Seth Rollins vs The Miz. This is the easiest match of the night to predict for the simple reason that The Miz is on SmackDown Live and Seth Rollins is on Monday Night Raw. WWE isn't going to want 2 mid-card titles on the blue brand while Raw has none, and therefore Rollins will retain here. If WWE wanted the Intercontinental Championship on SmackDown, then the time to do the switch was at the Greatest Royal Rumble, but the company opted to keep it on Rollins, and that is where it will stay. Number 5. Big Cass vs Daniel Bryan. From the easiest match of the night to predict to one of the toughest, with Daniel Bryan's first singles pay-per-view match since his return from retirement, he'll go one-on-one with someone else who's making his return, Big Cass. Cass is someone that WWE has wanted to push for a long time now, and he's back and healthy. The fact the company have thrown him straight into a feud with Bryan shows you just how much hope WWE has in the former tag team wrestler. Neither man can really afford a loss here, but after Cass's action on SmackDown this week, where he beat up the little person, that might just indicate that Bryan is going to pick up the win before he moves on to the feud we all want to see with The Miz. Number 4. SmackDown Live Women's Championship match, Carmella vs Charlotte Flair. The second of the 2 women's matches on the card also sees a championship on the line, as Carmella defends her SmackDown Live Women's Championship for the first time in her career against the former champ, Charlotte Flair. WWE pulled out a big surprise on the SmackDown after WrestleMania by having Carmella cash in, and since then, she has done a great job as champion, with her cocky attitude and impressive microphone skills really putting over with the fans. Of course, Charlotte is the most talented women's wrestler on the roster, but that doesn't mean she can hold on to the title at all time, and there's certainly fun in having her chase the belt for a little while. Expect Carmella to retain here through shenanigans, perhaps by the help of her new allies, the Iconics. Number 3. United States Championship match, Jeff Hardy vs Randy Orton. Jeff Hardy has been putting on some tremendous matches since his return from injury, proving that he has plenty of gas left in the tank as a singles wrestler, and the feud between him and Randy Orton has been slowly bubbling on SmackDown Live. At Backlash, we will see the first of what will likely be a series of matches between them, and the in-ring quality should be high between 2 very popular and experienced wrestlers. After picking up the belt recently, this isn't the right time to have Hardy lose, as WWE could easily build the feud over more matches. What we really want to see is an Orton heel turn, as he's more comfortable and entertaining in that role. Having him lose on Sunday against Hardy could be a way to lead to that, with Orton becoming frustrated and turning. But for Backlash, Jeff Hardy retaining the United States Championship is the expected result for us. Number 2. Samoa Joe vs Roman Reigns. The main event of the show from the Raw brand, even though Samoa Joe is no longer on the Red brand, as that is the show that this feud began on, WWE has done a good job with this feud, and is certainly the most well developed despite the fact Joe's now on SmackDown. Both men need to pick up a win to give themselves some momentum, but considering that Roman Reigns is the top star on Raw, at least in terms of full-time talent, as Brock Lesnar is only working a part-time schedule. Since his return from injury, Joe has looked like a dominant monster, which is exactly how he should be booked, and the next year is set to be a very exciting one for him on SmackDown Live, where he could easily become the WWE Champion. In order to make Joe look like a major star for SmackDown, then having him defeat Roman Reigns after a real brawl is the right way to go. Number 1. WWE Championship match, AJ Styles vs Shinsuke Nakamura. In what is likely to be a main event of Backlash, AJ Styles will defend his WWE Championship for a 3rd time against Shinsuke Nakamura in what is hopefully hopefully going to be the match that everybody has been hoping for between them. The greatest Royal Rumble bout between them was a step up from the WrestleMania match, and hopefully this encounter will be the one that finally sees them live up to the hype. The story between them has developed well, and Nakamura as a heel is someone who can play a major role in WWE. The company has done a great job in building Nakamura since his heel turn, but with this being his third chance at the title, it is very unlikely he gets a fourth shot. Therefore, if WWE wants to fully commit with him, then now is the time to pull the trigger and give him a run with the title. Otherwise, the build will have a major letdown, so Nakamura should pick up the title.